What's up everybody, it's quick trick time. Now, have you ever wanted to bust out a little trick to be able to show off to your mates? Well, today you're in luck because in 5 minutes, I'm hopefully gonna teach you how to crank flip. Right, before we get into it, why not show the channel a little bit of love by clicking the old subscribe and the like button as well. And if there's any more little quick tricks you wanna learn, well then let us know in the comments down below. But the crank flip then. So we're gonna break it down, start things simple, and then move on from there. So how do we actually begin the crank flip? So a crank flip can be broken down into two main movements. And you've got the jumping part where your feet are coming up off the pedals, and you've got the kicking of the cranks part where your cranks actually flip around, and obviously you've got to find them back together. We're gonna start with what I think is easier to practice, the flipping of the cranks. And you can do it just anywhere, which is amazing. Let's go. Okay, so let's start off then with the flipping of the cranks. Now, when we're riding along, just get used to those cranks spinning backwards. And then in flat pedals, ideally, this is a lot easier to do in flats, I should say. You want to get it used to when that pedal stroke, your lead foot for me anyway, which is my right foot, is at the top of the stroke. When it's just about to go past vertical, that is when you want to give it a good old kick back, just like a little flick with the ankle there, and it'll get those cranks spinning. Let's have a little go. You can do it riding along anyway. Watch this. Whoa. Look at that. And you just get used. So when you're doing that, you just get used to those cranks spinning, and you don't need to worry about finding the pedals too much to begin with. Because you're sitting down, you can just get used to spinning them, what that motion is, and then plonking your feet straight back on. Let's have another little go. Okay, a couple of bonus tips here then, people, when you're first trying crank flips. So I tend to have the pedal slightly more under the ball of my foot rather than in the middle, because it gives me a good ability to then give it a little flick with my ankle rather than if I had it straight in the middle here. Also, when I'm trying that first phase of the flip, riding along, I actually have the saddle up a touch as well so that my legs aren't as crunched up, so it makes it easier to be able to get that kick going on as well. So yeah, I think it might be time to go on to part 2. What do you reckon? Right, it's time for phase 2 of crank flipping, and that is leaving the pedals. Now, there's a couple of ways to learn this. So first up, you're gonna be riding along, and let's just say when your pedal's in the right place, you just crouch into the bike, and you're gonna jump feet off the pedals and aim to relocate. Now, what this is gonna do is getting you used to your feet coming up off the pedals and spotting them coming back down. Because it's not, let's face it, something that we do very often. So I would probably recommend doing this moving to begin with. But if you're a little bit nervous about that, you can find yourself a tree to prop against and just hop up and down off the pedals. Dead simple. Just get used to sort of lifting up, little jump, getting those feet back on exactly where they need to be. It turns out then the rain in Spain does not fall mainly on the plains. We did have to dive inside, but we're back. Pump track's wet, but it doesn't matter. It's time to put those skills together. So this is gonna seem scary at first. So if you can find a grassy area to do it on, that's always a good one, because if you do have to jump off or bail to the side or something like that, it's a little bit softer. And when you do it, right, so this is a great tip. When you jump, if it looks like you're gonna miss the pedals, make sure, if you got a dropper, saddle's down. In fact, I'd put saddle down as low as it can go anyway, because what's gonna happen is you're gonna jump, potentially miss the pedals, you can get your feet down without any unwanted insertions, shall we say, because that is not good for anybody. Let's try and piece the bits together, put it all in one big old crank flip pie, and hopefully come out looking steezy. All right, so rolling in, I don't want to be too fast, so remember, it's standing up, and when it comes to that kick motion, essentially what you want to be doing is, like I said, when it gets to here, your foot's going to push back on the pedal, and as you kick back like that, that is when the jump's going to initiate. And then as the pedal comes around, because remember, I'm right foot forward, so as I see that pedal come round at the bottom, that's when my feet are looking, bang, to make their marks. Let's do it, watch this. And again. And again. Hey, there you go, look. I tell you what, the cool thing with crank flips is hopefully you've got to the point where you can do them, and then you can incorporate them into really other fun things, like a little wheelie then. You could pop out a burr maybe, do them in the air if you do get nice and advanced. Look, good luck persevere. A little another top tip quickly, wear shin pads potentially if you're worried about your shins. But I wish you all the luck. I know you guys and girls out there can do it. Let me know how you got on in the comments down below. I wish you all the success, but for me, for now, I'll see you later.